afternoon. Would you like the long version, medium version, or a short version?
You're in charge.
Okay.
Thanks, ladies, for coming. Appreciate it.
I think, in general, we have three topics to talk about. Obviously, all of them interrelated to health insurance, but looking at what it would take if we, or what it would look like if we non-grandfathered the benefits. If we went to a benefit structure that would knock you off of a grandfathered plan, what the savings would be there. Also looking at, kind of in that same topic, keeping the employee contributions at a grandfathered level. Of course, if we decided to go to a non-grandfathered plan, you might decide to increase the employee contribution too, to a level that it doesn't really matter at that point because the plan's not grandfathered. So that's one topic. We can talk about of course, the claims, just the normal claims experience and review that we normally do. I have in the binder here that I'll pass out, and then the renewal that it looks like you're looking at there. So I didn't know which one you wanted to start with. I think it might make sense to kind of go probably in that order. Talk about the grandfathering issues first, and then look at the claims experience, and then the renewal.
Right.
Okay.
And I don't know that we need to dwell off the claims experience, quite frankly.
Right.
I think we're pretty much sure. We don't need to go page by page through that book anymore.
Right.
But what we do need to know is, I think the decision we have to make is whether we're gonna change anything from the employee standpoint.
Right.
I don't, I mean, there's no other decisions to make. Because quite frankly, I think in talking about this, not by you, but we essentially have a gun in our back here until we figure out what Obamacare is.
Yeah.
We don't have much choice, so I just grin and bear it
Right.
and do the best we can, I guess.
Yeah, there are definitely, there are going to continue to be unanswered questions out there until, at best, September or October this year, when the exchanges supposedly open and we see what happens and whether or not they push things back or not. So, but
Did
yeah,
I
you're right.
read correctly this morning that they pushed back the less than 50 employees already?
Well,
right here?
there is an exchange out there. The exchanges are primarily where individuals will go out on the web and look for insurance on the exchanges that way. There's also another exchange called SHOP. I think it stands for,
Yep.
And that's where smaller employers, less than 50 lives, can go out also on the exchange and shop for coverage that way. That was pushed back earlier. There was an announcement made a couple months ago that was pushed back, but now they're saying that, well, you can go out and shop, but there'll be like one carrier on it. So
Okay.
it's not much of a.
Okay, I thought
it's
they
not much
pushed
of
it
a
off till 15.
shopping. Don, I think they have actually.
Yeah,
So,
okay, all right.
yeah.
That doesn't affect us, though.
Yeah, no, you're over 50. I think over 50 lives. I don't know if Don, somebody snickered that when I said you're over 50.
No, I'm way over 50.
Okay. Why don't we start with the benefit structure? Do they? Okay. Okay. In front of you, you have the estimated cost changes for proposed benefits. And this, before we get to the premium, of course, there's two aspects of grandfathering. One is you can only increase your deductibles and your out-of-pocket expenses and copays, etc. You can only increase them within a certain percentage, or else if you go over that, then you're non-grandfathered. Real quick summary of the non-grandfathering. The reason I think it is important for a self-funded plan like Whitley County government to stay grandfathered as long as they can. There's a couple issues with it, but primarily, overwhelmingly, the biggest reason is the clinical and experimental treatments. That as a grandfathered plan, you do not have to cover and pay for experimental and clinical treatments as a grandfathered plan. So if you stay grandfathered, you don't have to cover that. We'll talk a little bit about potential cost here in a minute, but so that, I think that's one reason why. And George, I think like the last meeting you said, okay, so what is, what do the numbers look like? And so what you have in front of you there, I drew a line on mine where it says add a non-grandfathered plan. If you draw a line right on top of that, everything above that is what you could do to your plan, the changes that you could make to your plan design as far as increasing the deductibles. So that first line item there at the very top, increase in-network deductible from $600 to $747. They got very specific here. You could increase it to $747 if you wanted to. It's your plan. They'll administer it that way, they being AGA. You might want to consider rounding that, probably to be safe, rounding it down. But you can see there, if you by just making that change alone, savings, this would be claim savings to the plan, $9,150. Increasing the in-network out-of-pocket maximum from $2,000 to again $2,490, savings of $11,650. Increasing the co-pays, etc. You can see it there. So there'd be a total there, estimated claim savings of $39,500 a year annual. Claim saving if you made changes to the plan, what I would call right up to that grandfathered limit. Okay. Below the line there would be, okay, what if we just said we don't care about grandfathering, we're going to look at becoming a non-grandfathered plan. Really at that point in time, the sky's the limit as far as what you want to do as far as raising deductibles and out-of-pockets. We made the assumption that you would want to change this to like a health savings account type plan where you'd have a much higher deductible, take away the co-pays, everything goes towards the deductible until the deductible's met, etc. And you can see there that let's start with the claims cost first. They're estimating that by making those changes, the county would save $144,850, so rounding, let's say $145,000 a year in claims. However, the cost, the premium that you pay for the large claims, you pay the first $60,000 of claims, and anything over 60, then the reinsurance steps in. The reinsurance company would raise their spec premium up $24,500 a year, so you'd have a net savings of about $120,000. The reason the reinsurance company would raise their spec premium is because as a non-grandfathered plan, they realize now there is a increased risk that you're going to have some large claims, and that those large claims are not really factored into this report rate. I mean, there's really no way to project what that might be. All I can say, exactly. All I can say is that I think the county would be opening up their plan to some potentially very large claims as a non-grandfathered plan.
And you're right, we did ask you to look at non-grandfathered. And we did, and I thank you.
Yeah.
Can the increase, this is all done by percents, so say we go to 740 this year.
Right.
Then we look at it again next year, can you just keep climbing every year? Is
There-
it always
yeah.
gonna be a stopping?
No, there's a trend, good question, there's a trend that you can apply to it each year. It's based on, if you go to the CPI index, they actually have a consumer price index for healthcare, and they break it out by region, so in the Midwest region. So you can each year increase your benefits by what the CPI increase is and still stay a grandfather.
So
This year we could have been at $720 if I remember last year when we
Something
talked.
like-
So
yeah,
now
yeah.
it's going to be up to $747.
So we could've went to 720 and then we could've been higher this year is what you're saying?
Right.
Okay.
And you
That's
can go
right.
to 740 this year, and then whatever the
Come
increase
next
is,
year.
yeah.
Is it always gonna be close to the 39.5? Cause you look at that, and
No.
that's times that times 3, we'll get to there in 3 years, though.
No, it won't be, no, I'm sorry, when you say
39.5 is what you said,
you'll get there
3 years, cause, this one down here, to go out of grandfather, we would be about 120.
Oh.
This one's gonna take us 3 years to get to.
right. No, your savings, if you went, for example, if you went to 740 on the if you did everything that's listed here, and the estimated savings 39,500 next year. Next year, if you increase it by just the trend amount, it won't be near that amount, because right now you're taking it up a fair amount
Because we've
because
never
you
done
haven't
it
made any
before.
changes.
Got it.
Right,
So it'll be a lot less.
it'd be
next
a lot
year.
less.
I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. Okay.
So that's on the benefits. On the premium, I don't know if you made a hand up on that, okay. Do you want to just talk about the employee's share of it right now, though? I've got, those are the total premiums. Yeah, that's just the total premiums for the plan, the part that the employee would pay, where, like currently you're paying this, and then you get that there. Our number's the same, right, 2662?
I
Okay,
can do that.
yeah, okay,
So they have that.
so they know.
Yeah, we've gone over this sheet,
Yep.
Chad.
Okay. Well, I did all three, because I couldn't remember which one it was. Okay. Well, okay, yeah, so on the recommended amount of what you could raise the employee contribution up to, I think it's like 2662, the sheet that you have there, $70, maybe 15 cents.
Yeah,
$85 and
85,
85, and
128.40.
928.40, okay, so roughly, if you made those changes, that increase would save, I calculated around $56,000 a year. So by increasing the employees' contributions up to those amount, which again would keep you within the grandfather ranges, that would be about a $56,000 a year savings.
And I don't
to
have
the
that
county.
amount on there, just so you know, so you.
I'm
wanna
gonna say,
write
you
that
don't,
in.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's not
that's
on
not
there.
including the 28 that you're looking at on the
The-
side, if we made the changes with the
20,800.
deductibles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to pass this?
Sure.
So,
And I'm sorry, I've got all three there. I couldn't remember, frankly, if that was weekly, bi-monthly, semi-monthly, so you are in the middle. 26 pays bi-monthly there.
So we could really say 39.5
Plus.
and
Plus the 56.
plus the 56 or plus the 20 to get to the 56?
Now, the 2080 is included in your 39.5. The 2080 are these two I highlighted.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I didn't go with the full changes there.
What you're looking at there, yeah, was the three, again, you're on the 26 pay payroll. So that middle column there, and I just said, okay, based on your census numbers now, what the employees are contributing, how much the county is collecting, if you increase that amount, keeping the same census numbers the same, what they would collect, and then the difference there. And the difference would be around $56,000. So your $56,000 of savings there, plus and again, those, I would call those obviously known savings. I mean, you know you're gonna get that, right? Because that's just how much more you'd be collecting. The claim savings, that's what's estimated based just on actuarial assumptions, based on your past claims experience. I will say AGA has had your plan for many years now, so they have a pretty good handle on claims and how they run. So I would say the 39,005 claim savings is a fairly accurate number, but it could be more, it could be less. But you're probably looking, in the neighborhood of $95,000 a year in savings if you made these two changes. Of course, that's on a bill of close to 1.6 million for health insurance.
It all helps.
Yeah. Your renewal numbers, I don't know, but while you're letting that kind of sink in, your renewal numbers, only the spreadsheet that you're looking at there just reflects your current plan design. So any savings that we talked about, would be really on top of what we're looking at here.
So
last year versus this year, or the next year is a 4.88% increase.
Yeah, if you go from
Bottom line.
maximum cost to maximum cost.
Keeping the same deductions and everything we have now.
Exactly. Right.
Here's our current plan. Yeah, there you go. And this is the renewal, and the difference is 4.884.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, not being sure of what Obamacare is gonna bring, I think I'd like to make a motion. This is gonna be long, okay?
Okay, we'll talk slow then.
All right. Well, no, let's don't. I'm gonna rescind my motion. I'd like to go back to this page right here. I'd like to go to the back page. That's what totals $39,000, and I understand that, but I'm not sure that I really like the bottom three. I'm talking about a line above the add non-grandfather, talking about a line above that. I'm really not sure that I'm interested in increasing the copay to 25, the copay on the medications and the retail copay. I'm really not sure, but I do think that we need to look at increasing the deductible and increasing the out-of-pocket. The deductible, Chad, what you're saying is that they could deal with 747, but that's a hard number.
It's a hard number.
So are you proposing 740?
I would say let's, yeah.
745? I mean, I don't know what makes it more palatable to them.
It doesn't. In their system, it doesn't. They plug the number in and it adjudicates off of that. It's kind of, I don't know. You could do a 747. Actually, that's kind of an easy number to remember,
And,
right?
and people would say, how did you come up with 747? And it's
Yeah.
quite easy to stay grandfathered. That's the maximum we could go.
take it to.
And so
For some reason, Don, I see where you're going with this. 745 sounds a little better than 747.
I'm just, okay, 2490, does that 2490 sound okay?
I would probably go to 2450.
Regardless, that's going to decrease.
It's going to
these numbers
decrease your
a little
savings a
bit.
little bit.
Yeah. All right.
But
So-
what if they get to the end and it's 24.97? Because it won't be. Would you rather bump it up to 3 then?
No.
Oh,
You
wanna
can't
go
jump,
higher?
you can't go higher.
Can't go
Oh,
higher.
you
You'll
can't
lose
go
your,
higher.
you'll lose your grandfather.
What I asked them
Higher.
to do is
Yeah.
to
You
take it
can't
out
round
to
it.
the,
No.
take it out to
Yeah,
the
it
max.
is
Lower.
to the maximum,
Oh,
right?
so
Yeah,
that's-
we're good right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure where you wanna start. You wanna discuss each of these, or?
Yeah, I think that's what I'd like to do, is go with the deductibles first,
Okay.
see what we want to do with that. Do we want to increase the in-network from 600 to 745? And then possibly in-network family from 1,200 to 1,490?
I'm writing this. Is this
Well,
part
if I
of this
did-
motion?
Well, you have it right here. We're just rounding, Jenny.
Yeah,
If you have this piece of paper, you have it, so.
But is that going to be your motion?
yes. Well, no, at this point, he's just asking me what I would like to see.
Okay.
It's not a motion.
All right.
And then out in network, I think we just keep rounding down
I would keep rounding down, yes.
to the next, like 3145, 6290,
Mhm,
just,
mhm.
and I know that any increase for our employees is not gonna be good. I truly know that. But we've been so fortunate within the few years that we've had this, that we've been able to keep our health insurance down, that, to be prudent about this, we have to do this. I really think we need to do this.
Okay. With those three on the bottom,
Okay?
Is
The
that
three
what
on the
you're saying?
bottom,
the copay, the RX copay, and the.
My recommendation honestly is that you could, rather than go to the 7s, go to the 5s or the 0s. I do think that you're gonna see a lot of savings there by collecting an additional $5 per on the co-pays. And again, I know you're pushing cost off onto the employees, but,
Okay. For
Well,
the sake of moving discussions along, I'd say, okay, then if you
Yeah.
take that